Hi everyone, welcome back to Gloria's Learning Hub. Hope we are all keeping safe. Don't worry about Omicron, don't worry about COVID-19, don't worry about any variant. We shall overcome. Don't allow anything to distract you from your normal work. At least we've learned strategies to deal with this wicked pandemic. We shall overcome, all right? Don't let anything weigh you down or depress you or make you sick. At least I believe it's getting weaker and weaker as it mutates. So we shall overcome. Keep doing the right things. At least we've learned the strategy, all the strategies to deal with this wicked enemy. So today I want to talk about bail. The last video I made before today was on arrest. So when someone is arrested, the person would like to be released, either with conditions or without conditions. So I want to talk about bail. Bail Act 1977 does not stipulate any rule in regards to bail. So the cardinal rule is that there are no rules. There are no rules in regards to bail. So the purpose of the act is to provide a legislative framework by which a person accused of an offense or in custody can be released on bail with or without conditions or remanded in custody. So the act provides legislative framework. So it's all on the bail decision maker to decide whether someone can be released or not. Most times the police can release somebody accused of an offense unconditionally, but there are some offenses that the police has no power to decide whether the person can be released on bail or not. Offenses like murder or treason. So bail decision makers are bail justices, the police, the magistrate, the sheriff. They all have power to make decisions in regards to bail. So the purpose of bail is to secure the attendance of the accused in court at a future date. So if there is fear that the accused may not attend court, or if there is fear or concern that the accused may jump bail. Jump bail means if the person is released on bail and the person will not appear in court, then the person will be remanded in custody. So there are some guidelines by which the court determines whether a person can be released on bail or not. So bail is not meant to be a punitive measure. And if someone is making a bail application, the person cannot be cross-examined because it's not a hearing. And any admission made while making bail application can be denied, or admission or confession made during this process can be denied or can be inadmissible in court at the hearing level. So the test is, we have two tests according to the Act. We have exceptional circumstances test and unacceptable risk test. So exceptional circumstances test means that if the accused passes the exceptional circumstances test, the accused can be released on bail. So the onus is on the accused to prove that he or she has compelling circumstances that warrants the grant of bail. For example, in ASMA, there's a case called ASMA 2005. There is that proof of compelling circumstances whereby his mother was sick and he has a business that no one else can manage. He is the sole provider of his family. So, but every case is different, and it depends on the nature of the offense as well. In terms of releasing someone on bail, it depends on the surrounding circumstances. The court also has to consider, or the bail decision maker has to consider the surrounding circumstances of that person. If the accused is a child or a young person or the indigenous background, there are some other surrounding circumstances that can be looked at as well. So exceptional circumstances has no definition, and the compelling circumstances has no definition as well. So everything depends on the circumstances surrounding circumstances. So if the person passes exceptional circumstance test, the court may still not release the person on bail based on whether the prosecution was able to prove that the accused is unacceptable risk of flight, especially if there is this concern that the accused may leave the country, but other surrounding circumstances that may be looked at when the prosecution is trying to prove that the accused is unacceptable risk is if the accused had history of not appearing in court or breaching bail previously, or that there is concern that the accused may commit further offenses or interfere with witnesses or commit family violence, or that the person committed the relevant offense while in jail, while on bail, or while on parole. So a whole lot of other circumstances may be considered. If the person is not a citizen, if there is fear that the person may leave the country. So there are ways to get around the surrounding circumstances as well. The court may decide to put in some conditions. Maybe the person has to report to the police 3 times a week or 2 times a week. They can seize the person's passport. There can be a monetary surety, like money that would be required to be paid as a bond for the person to be released on bail. So if someone passes the unacceptable risk test by proving that he or she has compelling circumstances to be granted bail, we call it show cause. So if the person shows cause why he or she can be released, the person can be released. But the person can still show cause and not be released if the person is unacceptable risk, which has to be proved by the prosecution. So this is all about bail. So bail, I want you to understand that bail is like everyone has the right to be released on bail. But when there are concerns, and also based on the nature of the offense, that person may not be granted bail. Bail may be denied in such circumstances when there are other issues, or when there is unacceptable risk that the person may commit further offenses, like I've said. So this is all about bail. Bail is to secure your attendance in court. The court may consider that the time it might take for the proceeding, for the hearing to happen. For instance, in Mokbel's case, Mokbel applied for bail up to 3 times, but on the 3rd time he was granted bail because the court considered that it might take up to 3 years. His trial may take up to 3 years. So yeah, so the court may consider the nature of the trial and the duration and may grant bail based on that. So I will stop here for today. Watch out for my next video. Bye.